spectacular campsites on the most remote of tracks, to the workshop and everything in between. Your next episode of Great Off-Road Adventures is just seconds away. Well, hey guys, it's Graham from Great Off-Road Adventures here. Welcome to another video. You're probably wondering why I'm standing outside here in the dark, a cold winter's night. I need to revisit my King's rooftop tent review. This tent's going back tomorrow for a refund, and I'm not going to be getting another one. So on that note, let's get stuck straight into the review, and I think the best way to run the review is to go in chronological order from where we ended the previous review up until now, and just cover off with you guys and be honest with you the issues we've had with the tent and why it's going back tomorrow, and why I'm not getting another one, especially having ended my first review on a positive note, saying that I like the tent and, you know, would recommend it to people that are looking to get into hardshell rooftop tents. So let's get stuck straight into a bit of history background. My initial review is going to pop up in one of these corners here. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It's super comprehensive, covers dimensions, setup time, pack up time, all of that. And it's worthwhile checking out to give you a bit of background before we go into this review. So we bought that original tent January 2018. We used it for 5 months. We did that review. We continued to use that tent all the way through to January 2019, the start of this year. On the dwelling up trip, Jess noticed that it had cracks in the corners, and yeah, it was obviously a bit disappointing, a bit of a shock. I hadn't heard of any issues with the tents, so we took it back to the point of purchase here in Perth, the distributor, and they warranted the tent, no dramas. They said there was a bad batch, or the first batch was a bad batch, and mine was part of that, given its age, and they'd warrant it without any questions asked, sort of thing. So I took their word for it. Had the tent warranted, gave them the broken one, got a new one in return. Didn't cost us anything. Happy days. Off we rolled again. Now, having gotten a clean tent that we thought was all good, set about modifying it by getting strips of neoprene tape, sticking it in the 4 corners where the gas struts are, because there's gaps in the sail track that leak dust through. That was where I suspected the dust was coming through on my old tent, and having now blocked the gaps in this tent and, you know, done quite a few very dusty trips, Mundell Track, Ningen Station, for example, I can confirm that it's now dust-free inside. It's all well and good to be dust-free, but we're not keeping the tent because the first tent, like I said, had cracks in the corners. Unfortunately, we had this tent warranted obviously in January. It would have been middle of March. We were filming an event for Variety. It was just 2 weeks after the Mundell Track, middle of March, late March. We noticed that there was again cracks forming in the corners of the tent. Now, they're forming in exactly the same place as the last time. This tent is meant to not be part of that bad batch. So, you know, that was a bit of a, you know, I was a bit like, well, okay, what the hell's happening here? And literally days after I noticed the cracks in this second tent, I had a mate reach out from Westside Window Tinting, and he had one of these tents on a trailer, and he said to me, hey, how's your tent going? I've got some issues with mine. I was honest with him, and he sent me some photos, and I've got his permission to put them up, so I'm going to put them up now. And you can see the cracking in his tent. You'll obviously see the cracking with this tent. So it's not an isolated incident with these tents cracking, and you do a little bit of digging on social media and you will see plenty of reports of them cracking as well from other people. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole reason, need, feel, why I wanted to revisit my initial review, is I just wanted to share the fact that it's not a bulletproof tent. It is King's product. It's made to a budget, and as a result of being made to a budget, its quality is poor. That's probably the politest way of putting it. So I can't really hate on Kings too much for their poor quality. It is built to a budget, like I just said. That being said, they have been really good with their warranty. They obviously warranted my first tent. They gave me this one. In my mate's case, he took it back. They gave him his money back. So yeah, can't really hate on them too much for that. At the end of the video, I'll let you know the end result with this second tent when I take it back tomorrow, and how I went with that. So it's probably a good opportunity for me to talk to you quickly about why we picked the Kings rooftop tent, 18 months ago, and try and justify to you guys why I bought a lower quality tent, especially when the amount of camping that we do, we should be using good quality stuff. And bar the tent, we haven't cut any corners with building this car. It's pretty much good quality gear all the way through it. So why did I pick the Kings rooftop tent 18 months ago? I think we covered this in the initial review. I've just touched on it again now. Having had a good quality soft shell rooftop tent and a good quality swag, we had issues with them, not structural issues, but like the soft shell rooftop tent just took too long to set up, too long to pack up. It was quite a slimline aerodynamic design. We couldn't fit our bedding in there, so then that got stored in the car. That took up storage space. The setup time, pack up time was just too long for us to use if we were doing a static camp or a base camp style setup where we're camping in the same place for multiple nights, but trying to use the car in between. So we found that out when we did Ayers Rock and all that you've got to be able to drive your car to get to the sites and points of interest you want to check out, but you're coming back to camp at the same place, and you're setting up, packing up that rooftop tent every day. It gave us the shits and had to get rid of it. Obviously, benefit of the swag being that you can leave it set up whilst you go out for the day, but it still wasn't perfect because we had to obviously keep the bedding in the car. The swag wouldn't fit in the swag bag with the bedding rolled up in the swag. So yeah, that prompted us to look at other options, and a lot of people had been talking quite highly about the hardshell rooftop tents, the concept behind them. The concept obviously being that they are super quick and super easy to set up and pack up, and so as a result, it's not onerous or laborious to do a static base camp style trip, be it over a weekend or a long weekend, and utilise a hardshell rooftop tent because it's so quick and easy to set up and pack up. It's really not too much of an issue. And obviously the benefit of that being that you can keep your bedding set up, stored in the tent instead of taking up space in the car. So the concept was great, and it was from that Jess and I discussed it, chatted about it, and we went, no, hold on, let's look at these hardshell rooftop tents. Let's look at the viability of them. We thought the idea was great, but obviously there's only one way to test if it's actually going to work for us and the way in which we go camping for both our long dynamic trips where we're moving more often, like rocks to reefs, but also for our weekend static trips where we're in the same place for 2-3 nights. We looked at that. We looked at the tents that were on the market. We just could not justify spending top dollar, I'm talking 4 or 5 grand for, a high quality hardshell rooftop tent, being that we were unsure if it was going to work for us or not. So we went for the budget conscious option, Kings rooftop tent, and having now run that tent for 18 months, we've done long trips, short trips, dynamic trips, static trips. It is by far the best camping setup I've used in all my time. The concept of a hardshell rooftop tent is just awesome. The speed to set it up, the fact that your bedding's in there and the bed's pretty much made, it's just awesome. And then to be able to pack it up quickly, a minute or 2 tops to pack it up in the morning, and then you can jump in the car, go off wheeling that day, come back to the same campsite, set it up, literally 30 seconds, a minute to set it up. It was a game changer for us, and I think those are the exact words that I used in my initial review, and I still stand by that now. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to obviously get rid of this King's tent. I'm looking to go and get my money back, and I'm looking to replace it with something that's a bit better, a bit better made, a bit better quality, a few more features, maybe a bit bigger, a bit more comfortable mattress, etc. And kick on with that and see how we go. So yeah, look, you'll see it here first. Whatever option we get, it's obviously going to appear in our videos. It's going to appear on trips, and once Jess and I have used it for 6 months, maybe more, and we're satisfied with how it's going, we'll give it a review. And if we have issues with it, you'll probably see me standing out here in the dark again, talking to you about those issues and letting you know what to do. So yeah, look, well guys, let's quickly summarize up the video because it's getting cold out here and I want to get inside and warm up. You've seen our initial review, you've seen us revisit the review, and you've obviously heard my plan with what I want to do next. On that note, I've been researching what tent to get next, and in doing that, I've seen a heap of knockoff copies of these King's rooftop tents going by different names. They're exactly the same shell structure. The canvas is exactly the same, where the windows, the shapes, all that, they're like a perfect copy. I would say they're getting made in the same factory as these ones. I would say they're going to have the same issues as these ones. And my concern for you guys is that all these stores that are selling the knockoff copies, they are online only stores. So they freight it to your door. You have an issue with it, you're going to have to freight it, pay the freight to return it to them. You got to try and sort out the warranty over the phone with the person. It's going to be a real pain in the backside for you guys. Yeah, I would seriously encourage you guys to avoid getting one of the knockoff copies. If you do want to give one of these tents a run, go and buy it in person from a distributor, reseller, whatever. It might be $100 more expensive, but it's a point of contact for you to go back to if you have issues. And that's been great. That's exactly what I did. It was $100 more expensive to buy it in person in Perth, but it was probably the best $100 extra that I spent, given the issues we've had with the tent and the fact they've been great to deal with in person and with warranty. Obviously, we've shown you the issues, and there's not much more that I can do than show you the issues and say to you that I'm not going to get it replaced with another one because I don't want to be let down by the gear again. Well, there you have it. You've seen our initial review. You've seen the revisiting that we've had to do, obviously given the issues that we've had. I hope you found it all insightful and useful. If you have, jump down there, smash that big red subscribe button, show your support for the channel. Drop us a comment in the comment section, hit the like button. You guys know the deal. And yeah, look, over here, big dot, subscribe to the channel. Over here, you can check out our other videos. And yeah, happy, safe adventuring, guys. Stay safe out there on the tracks and trails, and we'll see you in another video. Well, guys, I am pleased to say that there was no issues returning the King's Kwiky rooftop tent today and getting a refund. So that's all sorted. Car's looking a bit bare, but it is what it is. I'm sure that from my original review and now the fact that I've felt the need to have to amend that, you can probably read between the lines, make up your own opinion on what I think of the King's Kwiky rooftop tent. Yeah, I'm certainly not going to waste any more time and go and get a third one. Yeah, obviously it's not an isolated incident, the cracking. It's pretty common, so I don't want to be let down out in my trips by poor quality gear. So let the hunt begin for a new tent. And yeah, thanks for watching the videos.